And the Northern CAN chairman, Reverend Joseph Hayab, joins us now to look at recent developments trailing Trump's Christian genocide claims. Good evening, Reverend, and thank you for joining us. Reverend, there have been renewed debates and international claims about, religious persecution and targeted attacks in northern Nigeria. From your position within CAN, how would you assess the current reality for Christians in the north, and what steps are being taken to ensure protection and peaceful coexistence among faith communities?
Yeah, since Ted Cruz pronounced his bill and later on Donald Trump came out and made his pronouncement, there has been a lot of views being shared on the national dailies, especially on television. Some are saying, yes, Christian persecution is true. Others are saying, no, it is not. But for me as a Christian, I've always said this. I don't speak from research or speak from what other people are saying. I speak from experience. Christian persecution in northern Nigeria is real. Christian persecution in northern Nigeria is true. Christian persecution in Nigeria has been on for a very long time. And though there has been some shift in the way things are happening in the past 2 years, the persecution has not stopped. Because when you talk about persecution, if there are still universities in northern Nigeria that will not allow Christians to build church, what do you call that? If there are still state governments in northern Nigeria that will not employ CRK teachers, teachers who will teach Christian religious knowledge, what do you call that? Recently, the governor of Katsina State approved the employment of CRK teachers. We have to celebrate it. Something that's supposed to be a right, we are now seeing it as a big favor. There was no reason for that. In many northern universities, there are no churches, as I've said earlier. We still have Christian girls adopted by some traditional rulers in northern Nigeria and given them into marriage without the consent of their parents. Their parents only appear in police station or appear in civil defense offices or appear in court and see a girl that they gave birth to, and they know when they gave birth to, but she has been given a new name and a new age, different from the original age. When things like that are happening in this country and someone said there is no persecution, I don't know what he calls persecution. When there are killings going on in some communities, like I personally have had the opportunity of, or I've had to bury large number of people for something they knew nothing about. There has been some mix-up around, and the mix-up is that we call killings of Christians farmers-herders conflict. And some of us can debate it and tell you it's not true. I know what is a farmers-herders conflict, different from murderers or terrorists coming to kill innocent women and children and their husbands, burn their houses, burn their place of worship, and even chant religious slogans. You say, no, they are doing it to everybody. No, it's not true. The truth about it is that those who are terrorizing Christians started terrorizing Christians and going after Christians, killing Christians before it was when they had no Christians in those communities, then they started going to Muslims who do not support their evil crime. So what I expect to hear from whatever group that is speaking is to acknowledge that some of these things have been happening to our neighbors, to our brothers, to our friends, and it's not right. So government, wake up and act responsibly. But if we start denying, then we don't even want to end this evil. If we continue to deny, then we don't want to put a stop to this evil. And they will say, no, the number of those who have been killed are more Muslim than Christian. No, I beg to disagree with anybody who believes that. The truth is that the history surrounding killings of Christians is far outdated, Tinubu. So don't confuse the story. Let's focus on what is true.
Reverend Hayab, the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, they recently stated that violence in Nigeria is driven more by poverty and insecurity than religion. Can you tell us how CAN in the North is working with Islamic leaders to address these root causes and to prevent...
No. I have not yet agreed with that. So how will I talk about addressing it? When Lakarawa killed Christians, is that also poverty? When Boko Haram killed Christians, is that also poverty? When Is-haq killed Christians, is that also poverty? When Ansaru killed Christians, is that also poverty? when Jamaatul, the new group that has come up, kill Christians, is that also poverty? I think poverty, when people come out and hide under a religious identity and commit havoc in a country, our Muslim leaders should be men enough, courageous enough to stand up and tell them, you are killing our fellow citizens, hiding under the name of our religion. We condemn you. We reject you. What you're doing is wrong. This is what we expect. But to now make a serious problem, when the issue of Miss World Beauty Pageant came, was that also poverty? A lady working for this day wrote an article. Christians in the North had no idea who is the lady or what the article is all about. But the next day, their churches were burned, their pastors were killed. So many things happened to them. Is that also poverty? I think some people really do not want to get this problem solved in Nigeria. And that's why they are playing game and making excuses. Something had been happening and it's wrong. Can we admit it so that we apply the right medication? But when we continue in this denial and debate, then we don't want. And that's why some of us are just feeling we don't even need to continue to respond to these claims and diversions of idea where the real thing is there. Evidence are so glaring. Because I can take you, when the Boko Haram killed Oji in Maiduguri, where they, it was because he was a Christian. When they killed Osanibong in Maiduguri, because he was a Christian. When they killed Pastor Bitrus, when they killed... So why would someone tell us that? But you see, we've been working with Muslim leaders in finding solutions because we've always want interfaith dialogue. But our Muslim leaders should be honest enough to tell us that even among them, some used to tell those of them who come to do dialogue with us as if they are not serious Muslims. Why would they not be honest and condemn such? So when you keep dialoguing, and we will continue to dialogue, but we want sincere dialogue, we want genuine dialogue. I, as the Khan leader in the North, I remember recently when a young lady was killed, accused of blasphemy. She was a Muslim, but I came out and condemned it because that is wrong. I want to see Muslim leaders doing the same. If anybody touch any Christian, they should come and condemn it. When Deborah was killed, who among them condemned it? So our leaders should be honest for once. If we really want to help Nigeria and help this government, then we stop the denial and focus on how do we remedy. That's when dialogue will become honest. But when you keep calling for dialogue, when the person is even denying, then he will come to the table not coming with an honest understanding of the situation,
Reverend
but
Hayab,
claims that are not true. Then at the end, you don't find solution.
I apologize for interjecting, but for time, you know, you've mentioned so many things and with emphasis, but now that we have foreign voices like, you know, President Donald Trump and the media narrative often painting Nigeria as a hotbed of religious persecution, what message would you send to the global Christian community and international partners about the true situation and what kind of support should be prioritized to promote peace rather than division?
The true situation, number one, is that it is not false that Christians are killed. Christians have been killed. But we also believe that the international community can help us track down these terrorists, can help us expose these terrorists, because they deal with a lot of finance, and bring them out and put pressure on our government to go after them, which I believe that's exactly what Trump is doing. There's nowhere Trump said he was coming to Nigeria to fight Nigerians. He simply said, do something about these criminals, do something about these terrorists. If not, we will send our military to go after them. Those who are busy making noise are just, to me, confirming that they have dealings with the terrorists. If not, why are you even denying if you are not a terrorist, if you are not a supporter of terrorists? So we are calling on international community to help us ensure that these criminals, these terrorists who have been tormenting Nigerian citizens are put to where they belong. And we want to not just international community call on our Muslim counterpart and look, this debate and denial will never give us result until we resolve that we will be honest to ourselves, deal with those who are hiding under whatever religion or whatever identity to cause fellow citizens mayhem. But when we are denying as if we are protecting them, then we are putting Christians on the defensive side. They will say, oh, wait a minute. I lost my wife, and you are telling me that she was never killed. I lost my son, and you tell me he was not killed. I lost my members, you told me they were not killed. What do you expect me to believe you? How do you expect me to even have dialogue with you? So please, let's stop this denial and know these things are true. I have buried many of them. I don't have the time to explain the numbers I have buried. I have evidence, I have pictures, I have evidence of all these things. They know this truth. Why the denial? So we want to help this government to succeed. And I can tell you, if Tinubu and his team successfully eliminate terrorists, then Nigeria will come to the right path of peace,
Reverend
tranquility, and progress.
Reverend Hayab, thank you so much for joining us and giving us the view from the north. We appreciate you joining us this evening. Thank you.